of the February Wallpaper series. We've been having some technical difficulties. Thank you for sticking with us this far. Just as a recap, I'm Yamino. My wife, Ash, I almost called you Jash. My wife, Jash.
Jash here
is joining us.
Your wife, Hash.
My wife, Hashley.
The one, the only, the incredible, the indelible Jash Barnes. Jash Jarns.
And we're also joined tonight by Jaura.
That makes me look like I'm the Jinx Laura.
And
no,
once
like
again,
George.
Once again, I'm Jamino, the artist of Gister Jer. This is funny because it's past midnight.
Oh my god, she made me laugh exactly as I was taking a swing of coke.
I have a talent for that.
I could just see it spraying all over my keyboard.
I used to be able to make my best friend in high school laugh at just the right moment after he had eaten some food to make it shoot out of his nose. Like, he would be like, and then I would see it like shooting out of his nose. It was a gift.
Oh my god.
And I only sometimes did it on purpose. Most of the time it was just really good or bad luck, depending on who you ask.
But it says, Gister Jer, the AU where everything is the same except the habits are denying. Denying? How do
Denim.
Denim, thank you.
Yeah.
They are the things that things are made of.
She's got a John. Don't jute.
Matt says, this is the only time that it's pronounced J.
Thanks, Jod.
Yeah. But I think, okay, so it
Same
seems
as
like,
Jung Jung.
I think it's doing a lot better this time.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
What were we talking about? Michelle's beard. I can't pronounce that word.
Beard?
Thank you. That one.
His mustache. So, like, you were asking me who really likes it. So, I think... Oh, you asked it?
I like it.
Oh, okay.
I asked it.
Okay. So, Oscar admires it but does not want it. Sylvia doesn't really find it super fetching, but I think she thinks it's cute.
I think, given the right opportunity, it can tickle nicely in some places.
Yes.
Some places.
I think Maman, if she was asked, she would say, it's darling. And Catherine politely has no comment.
I really like his mustache.
Gabby would say that she loves his whiskers.
Yes, I agree with Gabby. Oh, here's a question for the... I can't say that word either. For the peeps.
For the chat.
For the peeps.
For the chat.
No! I don't say that word in this house. For everyone. For my friends. For the fandom. About Gabby, we were having a discussion the last time that we were planning. What do you guys think she would wear, like, right now? What would be the clothes to be comfortable in?
We're talking specifically about Gabrielle.
Yes, Gabrielle at this point in the comic.
Yeah.
Budgie says, nothing but jorts. Yes, Matt, comic timeline. What is buzzing?
It's my light.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
It's the giant hive of wasps that lives in our walls.
I've never met them.
We try very hard not to.
Well, I say wasps. It's actually one giant wasp.
We try very hard not to meet her.
She crawls around the walls.
Buzzing her discontent.
So, Freely Seek said my first reaction was nothing. Sephi said crop top and maxi skirt with double slits. Not bad.
I think they needed a little context. What would she wear if she was trying to impress some people or someone she was meeting for the first time?
There you go.
So, like, she has the opportunity to put something on. It's not like she's been called out of nowhere and just came in her birthday suit as she usually lounges in.
She was settling herself for a marathon of campaigning hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Steffi says one of Catherine's designs. Oh. Karen agrees, a Catherine dress.
Now that you pointed out the Wasp Queen, she's annoying me.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, you know what? I can turn her off. She doesn't even need to be on right now.
Oh, it's still making noise. It's not the light.
It's not the light. There's something that is alive.
It must be in the wall. Like some...
Could it be the neighbors and they're retaliating?
Wow, you made it stop.
Oh, it stopped and started again earlier, too. I don't know that I did anything. Did anybody else have any good responses?
Budget says, one of those pantsuits that look like dresses when your legs are closed. Then she crab walks forward going, it's a pantsuit!
I can't say I have any idea what that is, but...
Haven't ever seen that Vine with the girl who's like, psych, it's actually a leg. It's
No.
actually pants.
No.
I'll show you later.
Okay.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
It's basically like baggy pants. Then when your legs are close together, you can tell that's pants. It looks like a single skirt. Until you open your legs and it's like, psych, it's actually pants.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Safi sent a link.
It's really pretty, too.
I want to see it.
Show me.
Hold on, I'll... Oh, that is really pretty. Hold on, I'll show it to you.
Oh, that is so nice. Send it to me.
I will. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. And if you sign up today, you save 10% off your first purchase.
Oh. I have in the past considered buying some of the outfits that I based the Claire characters' outfits on, specifically Magpie's, but most of Magpie's outfits were based on men's clothes from a Korean website, and I'm pretty sure they won't fit me, so.
That is a tragedy.
Yes.
It is. But speaking of Gabby clothes, when she was Gabby, when she had to wear clothing in public, did she ever develop a sense of style for human clothing, or it was just like, yeah, give me something to wear, I'd rather be naked, but fine?
I'm sure she developed a style. Like Gabby, like a lot of kids who are given a wardrobe to play around in, she really liked dressing up.
That's how I imagine her style being, though, like a kid playing dress up.
But sometimes kids hit on really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And Gabby was also exposed to Catherine a lot. Like,
she had a pretty wide wardrobe to pick from because she had Catherine, Oscar, and Maman.
Yeah. The only thing about
everyone else in the house.
Yeah. The only thing about Oscar, though, there's only a very brief window of time where Gabby can fit into anything of Oscar's. Because she gets much wider than Oscar very quickly. Like, when she is a very little puppy, like, this is when she finds Catherine, she's barely able to button Oscar's shirt around herself. And even then, Eleanor, you drew it with the big, the gaps.
Yeah.
Because it was pulling so much.
That is a great picture.
It was.
I don't even remember it. I have to look at it again.
It's the one where she also tries on the wig for the first time. The one that eventually...
It has a special place in my heart because that's the memo that was going up when I caught up to Sister Claire for the first time.
But I really do think that she did develop a sense of style. Especially, I'm trying to remember if I wrote this in a missing moment or I think it was probably a live write. But I wrote that Gabby used to spend a lot of time with Catherine at her shop when she was visiting, but at one point, someone brought in something to be cleaned, and it turned out to be a selkie pelt. And after that, Gabby, she doesn't like to stay in the shop.
I don't know if you wrote about it anywhere. I can't remember. I do remember you telling me about it.
Okay. I could have sworn I think I wrote it in, I think I could find the live write it was in, but, in any case, Gabby would have spent at least some time in Catherine's shop, tons of time with Maman, then later with Clementine and Eden, and also Catherine there, would have seen all the different kinds of wardrobes people had on, would have eventually cultivated her own style, but by and large would have preferred being naked.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But you wanted to know what's Gabrielle's sexuality.
Clementine.
Yeah, someone said clam sexual.
Or clam sexual.
Yeah, she is pretty much devoted specifically to Clementine. She, in terms of, playing around sexually, I feel like she might be slightly down for that. But when it comes to having a partner like that, there's only one.
Yeah, I could see her being pan in terms of just, finding people really attractive or something, or even, having a fling with them or something, but in terms of who she actually wants to spend her whole life with is Clementine.
Yeah.
She's, pretty imprinted on her.
Clementine, too, I've gotten the question before about Clementine, what does Clementine prefer? And Gabby. Again, Gabby. I don't think either of them would have been super promiscuous. I don't think, either of them had a bit of problem with other people being promiscuous. I also think that they might have been, depending on the company, kind of flirty, which would have given people maybe a different impression. But, when all the cards are on the table, they're like, yeah, we're just going to go back to our tree. Bye.
Our love cave.
Yeah. Our tree, our den.
I remember, once when we were just joking around, thinking if we could ship Clementine with other people, and then at the end of the day, we're like, yeah, no, can't do, doesn't work, can't do it.
It really just doesn't.
It doesn't click.
It feels weird, and it's like,
I feel like I could see Gabby experimenting physically with other people, especially after Clementine passes away, to sort of see if she could have intimacy with anybody, because, remember, Catherine and Oscar kind of ditched her.
Yeah.
She is alone.
The problem is, though, she can't really leave without the help of her pod. So it's not like she has a ton of opportunity.
I mean, there's mer people, is what I mean.
Yeah, but even then, she has to be pretty near Sal for that to work. It's not like she can just wander around the ocean alone. She has to either be in her grotto or with a member of her pod. And, some people have asked me, well, what about Sal? If she was going to experiment with anyone, maybe him. I feel like she might have even done that, as a much younger person.
They do have kind of a flirty interaction.
I think...
And I've drawn, a comic that was, even before you joined, Ash, that was, it was, a very flirty thing between the two of them. I think that's just how they like to talk to each other, though, but it's totally possible that they've tried things together, too.
Yeah. There was, I remember, a very early missing moment where Gabby kisses Catherine. And I remember the line I used, something like Gabby drops a kiss onto Catherine's unsurprised mouth.
Yeah.
And I feel
that
like...
was really well written.
Thank you. I feel like, though, at that point, she's so desperate for companionship, and Catherine used to be so much more affectionate with her, and at that point, Catherine's just like, you're such a bad influence. And,
Yikes.
you know, Gabby's trying to be like, but I love you.
Oh, Gabby.
And
break my kokoro.
Matt says, can anyone visit Gabrielle? Yes. Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
And yes, they should have.
Mm-hmm. Don't, like, here's something heartbreaking to think about. But, like...
Oh, that's new. We've never had any of these before.
Yeah. In the missing moment where Oscar calls for help when the infirmary is on fire, and Catherine and Marguerite are inside, do you remember what Gabby says? Or how she acts? She's so surprised that Oscar calls her. And even later in the comic timeline, when Catherine summons Gabrielle
for help, and she's like, hey, long time no see. Oh, you want me to fight a thing for you? Oh, okay. Let me go change.
Yeah. She's essentially like, Catherine, you never call me. To what do I owe the play? Oh.
That.
You don't want to talk. You want me to slap some bitch with a giant water fist. I got it. Okay. Matt says, can anyone who's not in her pod visit her? Yes. They need help getting to her, of course. It's not easy to get to her. But yeah, they could visit. Claire, Catherine, Oscar could take someone else, like Marie, Rosalie.
But could somebody who's not in her pod call her?
No. Not with success. Like, they could try. But...
Does she consider Sabine her pod?
Yeah.
So here's another heartbreaking thought. Does she consider Nib her pod? So if Nib had ever tried...
Then again, Gabby's a lot different now. And yeah, like... I don't think Nib is considered quite as close as the others, but is definitely still a member of her pod.
I mean, Nib saved her life.
Nib helped save her life. She's also known Nib almost as long as she's known Catherine and Oscar. You remember one of the first wallpapers you did? It's like my favorite thing ever, where Oscar and Nib and Catherine are running down the beach and Gabby's chasing them.
Like the place with the sand.
Yeah.
That's also one of my favorites because that's where I came up with Pedro.
Matt says, what I'm asking is, can anyone show up at her grotto, invited or not? Yes.
I think it would be pretty much impossible to find if you didn't know it was there, though.
Yeah, it's really...
It's like at the very bottom of the ocean, and it's not exactly lit up with neon lights.
Yeah.
You'd have to know it where it was.
You have to go... I was going to say that, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word and not say for workplace live draw, so...
You're allowed to say vagina tunnel.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was going to say you have to go through the vagina of memories.
Vagina is not a bad word. It's just a body part, and there's no shame with that word.
I think that, but what about YouTube?
That's true.
Remember when they censored Sister Claire because it had...
Wait, what?
Wasn't there one time that Sister Claire got flagged for being adult content?
Maybe. I don't even remember. Must have been a while ago.
In terms to, like, it's not... The grotto isn't, like, at the bottom of, like, the ocean depths. Like, certain kinds of people can swim to it. Like, Gabby and Clementine could, like, swim deep enough to get to it, but that's for a particular reason. Like, what?
I'm just thinking, oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
But, like, people can... I don't think it would be easy for your average human to get to it. Go ahead.
I really don't think it's possible for a human to get to it. Like, I don't know about what you were imagining, but I imagine that it was, hundreds and hundreds of feet below sea level. Humans cannot swim there.
I guess my live rat isn't canon.
But yes, if Gabby would ever be jealous of Claire's special someone.
I don't think so, because like Gabby has tried to explain before, when Claire goes to visit her, like, she doesn't see her as Clementine. It's kind of complicated. Like, she feels like she's more like Clementine's child,
Yeah.
practically. And like Gabby feels super protective of her and she loves her so much, even having never really gotten to interact with her. But she doesn't see her as like a reincarnation of Clementine that belongs to her.
No, she really doesn't. She has never viewed Claire as Clementine. Ever. Ever. And
Catherine is the one who has more of that problem.
all the rest do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but not Gabby. And I think this is really frustrating to her. Soon, like, when you think of the relationship that they have, or that they could have had, that they were deprived of, when you think of what Gabby must think, or what she must have thought when she saw little Claire, there is a little child who looks like the mate she lost. She's not going to think, yay, my mate back from the dead. She's going to think, that's my child. And that's a child she's not allowed to interact with. She's not even really allowed to introduce herself to. Like, Clementine and Gabby would have had children, you know, if Clementine had lived. And now Gabby doesn't get to interact with Claire at all. Instead, Oscar and Catherine get to raise the kid.
Yeah, if we're going to think about it in a how to say, custody? In a custody dispute, Gabby is the widow and Catherine is just the auntie. Who has the biggest claim to the child here?
Yeah, like, it's really kind of terrible how it all, like, worked out. And all Gabby has ever wanted is for Claire to be happy. It's why she feels so guilty for having lied to Claire. Not that Oscar and Catherine don't feel guilty, but she never wanted to go along with this ruse in the first place. She feels really bad about it. She's going to be doing everything she can from now on to not do that anymore. Like, she doesn't want to lie. She doesn't want to keep anything from her. She feels privileged that Claire is still willing to give her a chance at all. And so if Claire ever got with anybody, like in terms of a partnership, all Gabby would be was supportive. And I mean, I'm sure that sometimes it would make her miss Clementine, but seeing anyone in a happy, fulfilling relationship would do that, not just Claire.
Pretty Sick asked, is Gabrielle limited to people she knew as Gabby, or could new people hypothetically enter into her pod?
New people could definitely enter into her pod. Keep in mind that this is not the rules of her, imprisonment, I guess you could say. The rules of her condition are not super, defined or well known by Gabby herself or by people surrounding her. So please don't think, I'm not going to sit here and say that Oscar, Catherine, and the rest didn't treat her horribly, because they kind of did. But it's not like they were like, stay in your cave, never make any new friends so you can never leave again. They don't know this is a possibility.
Oh, but it says, well, Claire technically entered her pod, right?
Yeah. She also thinks, though, that because of things you will soon find out, she has considered it kind of a given the whole time that Claire is a part of her pod. So.
I had a question regarding that, actually. So, right now, Gabby's kind of bound to her love cave, because that's the place with the most grounding for her, the most reservoir of love that she and Clementine shared, right? That's a grounding point for her.
Yeah.
If she came to consider a new place home, could that also be a grounding place, or is it just never going to be the same as the love cave?
She could have a new place. Yeah. She could have new places. There are other places that, had they not been destroyed, would have been other grounding points. Welcome was one of them. Welcome, by the way, is the name of the big tree. The tree in Eden. Welcome. Clementine names it Welcome.
You're welcome.
I know, I was just...
But that was one place where Gabby could Eden in general
Mm-hmm.
was a place where Gabby felt very at home, because, I mean, she helped Clementine make it what it was. Not so much that, with her own two hands, flippers, whatever, she helped to build it, but she was a big support to Clementine and considered it just as much her own personal project as Clementine did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then I have a question.
Yeah?
Do you hate yourself right now drawing all the petals?
No, this is actually really nice because there's no way to draw a petal wrong. So I'm just kind of procrastinating for the hard part of, like, coloring this because I'm tired.
Okay.
No, but petals are really easy. It's just a blob.
A blob.
The Crystal Clod says, "Hello there, Yamino Ash and Lau. It's been so long since I've been here. I'm sorry for staying away for so long. We're happy to see you again, dear heart."
Yeah, it's always nice to see a familiar face again.
Be welcome. So yes, but for those of you with more questions about Gabrielle, stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. How exciting.
Smashing.
Smashing. Eliza.
What?
Eliza.
Am I missing a reference here?
Yeah, it's from the Wild Thornberries.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Brother Nerd asks, "Is Gabby unique among Selkies in her water powers?" Like, as a Selkie before her transformation into Gabrielle, she's able to hear the currents and understand them to a degree. Keep in mind that Gabby is still, like, a very young Selkie when all of this happens, so she's not terribly good at it yet, and she can't make the giant water fists and stuff very well. This is something I have not had a huge chance to get into because the missing moments, as they were written, were, like, at the time, were from different perspectives and weren't hyper-focusing on it. But while Clementine was being trained at the Helsing Abbey, it was always mentioned that Gabby was right there. Gabby has been training alongside Clementine for a while, and is a very unique pupil in that, as a Selkie, she's learning a lot of magic theory and stuff. I'm very excited for, at some point in the future, I get to show you that Gabby is a witch in her own right. Like, not just a Selkie, but has a particular kind of magic and does really special things with it. In that, she is pretty unique because most Selkies don't, like, live among landfarers. They don't do magic schooling. They don't get training from Helsings.
Unless they're drifters.
But even then.
Yeah, then they're definitely not being trained by Helsings.
Even then it's really, really different.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in general, no. Like, Gabby is not like other Selkies in that way.
She's not like other girls.
She's not like other girls. She's not like other seals. Later, when she becomes Gabrielle and is the odd mixture of things, and can do more of the water magic, that's more a consequence of what she is and that particular state of being. And that is pretty unique. Like, Selkies can't just do that. Mm-hmm. It's because she's not entirely a Selkie anymore. Oh, yeah, that's a really cool question. Budgie asks, "If Gabby never became a siren, would she have gotten huge?" She would have gotten really big, yeah. I don't know if she would have gotten really tall, but she would have been a very, very round, strong woman. And
giant woman.
Oh, almost. We just started different parts of the song.
Yeah, she would have, she would not have been super duper tall, but she would have still been quite imposing.
This gave me just such an Athena vibe right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something we never discussed, I think, if drifter seals would be schooled.
I always imagine not really,
Mm.
but maybe in particular like drifter kinds of magic. But again, they only specialize in like a few certain kinds.
Yeah, drifters don't have a lot of variety in their magic.
Whereas landfarers, you've got a lot of variety.
But I imagine they might know how to seal. The seals learn how to seal.
Oh, like wards?
Sail. The seals learn how to sail. Yeah.
Oh,
almost there.
I'm sure. Oh, Brother Nerd said, so, what kind of fauna are in the area of Salvation and north thereof? You would have your basic deer, bear, elk,
shard
bears. How horrible. You would have, lots of weasels and woodchucks, like foxes, wolves, probably some various kinds of, mountain lion, cougar type-esque thingies, birds. Lots of wildlife, I mean. You've also got, in terms of magical creatures, you've got gnomes, you've got goblins, you've got fire sprites, pixies. What else have we mentioned? As you get higher up into the mountains, you'd have sky lions. Out toward the coast, you would probably have some coastal wyverns. They really like to snap at the sails and pennants on ships because they like to take them back to their nests.
Because they're assholes.
They are.
Oh, I'm loving this.
Thank you.
Yes, it's really nice.
It's perfect for Valentine's Day. Just Matt says, all I wanna be is someone who gets to see her turn into a giant selkie.
Brother Nerd said, what breeds of bears? I'm assuming black bears at least. I'm not really well versed in what
Sun
bears.
Are there platypus bears? Turtle bears?
Panda bears.
Just bears?
Red bears. Red panda bears.
I'm gonna say probably black bears.
Grizzly bears that breathe fire.
Oh god. And you could have some like weird giant bears and shit. I don't know. Like, this is a magical world. I'm sure some of these creatures have like, and it's
weird stuff.
It's post-apocalyptic, so you've got weird shit around like
Yeah.
moon wolves. You've got old world magic creatures like, I mean, these aren't super common outside the Fire Islands, but things like the kitsune and stuff like.
Wait, did animal creatures, did magical creatures exist before the fall of the World War?
Mm-hmm.
You told me one time they didn't.
No, they did. Only very specific kinds, though.
Like, lied.
Ash didn't lie to me.
If I did, I'm sorry. But no.
Are you telling lies?
Oh, Steven. But in particular, there were like some creatures from like what would be considered the old world. Kitsune are one of them. There aren't very many of these kinds of creatures left, just because they'd have to like
compete with the shards.
Compete with shards, or just when there's already magic everywhere, like.
There's not as many niches left for them.
Matt asks, did Selkies exist before the fall of the old world? I don't know. I haven't thought about that yet. I would have to confer with the other members of the Trinity.
Confer with the tribe.
Ask the elders. The great and powerful Yamino.
Ask the elders, and I'm like 6 years younger than you.
Are you 6 years older than me?
How old are you again? You're turning... Yeah, I'm 6 years younger than you.
Ah.
And I'm apparently older than Halsey.
Like your fun.
It's a little hiss.
Que food.
I'm gonna get some.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say, if the old world people were smart enough to mess around with trying to create Machina by force, and we all know where that led them, I don't think I would put past them to be messing with radioactive energy. So who knows what kind of weird shit came about because of them.
Mm-hmm.
True enough.
Sylvia looks so much like Marie, it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Are you drinking angry water?
This tastes different. You should try it. See what you think. Not really. Try it. See what you think. Huh? Oh, we'll go.
I'm too lazy.
You're allowed to take a pee break.
I'm too lazy. I'll have to get up.
You know, it's really bad for you to hold it when you have to go to the bathroom.
I do know. That's why I'm always telling Ash to go.
Go pee.
I'm a hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
That one.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, who asked me about mispronouncing English words earlier? This is my life. Just you waiting to in Brazil. I'm assuming the angry water wasn't to your tastes.
It's okay. It's got aspartame in it though.
Because what?
Aspartame. It's an artificial sweetener.
Oh, can you tell which one it is just by the taste?
Yeah. Also, I'm making the
Okay.
But-
Okay.
But yeah, you can. Or at least I can. I was trying to buy David seltzer water the other night at Walmart, and I accidentally got the aspartame flavored water, and I was trying it to see if I would notice a difference. And, oh yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
This is such a nice picture. I
It
love
is.
it.
Thank you.
It's really good.
They look so angelic and romantic.
Oh, I thought you said giant mama.
Well,
that's true.
That's
Yeah.
that's me. That's acceptable.
Michelle looks so tiny.
He is tiny.
I'm sure, actually, like, for this slab draw, it doesn't matter that much. I'm sure he has scars, in certain places.
I mean, I can give him scars.
I just don't know where they would be. Like,
There would not be Clementine level scars where it's
Oh,
everywhere.
no, he'd only have a couple, but I'm sure he has some.
From murder attempts?
Maybe a couple from that, but I was also thinking, the fall of the colony.
And Sylvia has scars in the palms of her hands, right?
Uh-huh.
From catching swords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a question.
What?
Are Sylvia and Michelle in matching underwear?
Yes.
They work, don't they?
Yep.
Yep.
He looks so happy. He's like, oh, yeah.
He thinks Momo is sleeping, so now says, Chance Dayota.
She's slowly awake.
Yeah, and then eventually she like opens one eye and she magically moves a muscle to make it by itself. He's like, whoa! Golly! Goodness!
I say, oh, join it.
It's alive! Jello.
It's alive!
Oh,
He's a rail.
Is Oscar?
Is Oscar a rail?
Yeah.
Probably.
She's got more muscle than he does, though. Like,
yeah. No,
and,
he's definitely like a toothpick compared to Oscar.
Yeah. Like, Oscar has always, in... Oh, no, I think it's starting to skip again.
Ooh, mine just did. Okay, I'm gonna take this. Is this time to go to the bathroom?
Go, run. Turn the fan on unless you want us to hear everything.
I don't think she heard you. It's just me making some more tea over here. I really need to make myself a reference file for Sylvia. Oh man.
Oh Lord. There, it's back.
But like, Sylvia has a different hair color than Oscar and the twins and Michelle all do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it's inspired by?
Mm-mm. What?
In Disney's Cinderella, the original, she had like a reddish, like strawberry blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, with the degrading of the colors, they had to like remaster it, and like when they re-released it, she was blonde.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason that they made her a redhead in the original is because that was in at the time with like Hollywood actresses and stuff. It was in vogue to have like strawberry blonde hair. But it's just, they've changed it in like all the modern marketing and everything to just make her a generic blonde, and I preferred her with the orange hair, and that was kind of my little homage to that.
Mm-hmm.
But also because I wanted her to not look exactly like Marie.
Yeah. I mean, fair.
Oh fuck, why did I close it?
What did you say?
I was talking a little bit about why Sylvia has strawberry blonde hair.
Oh no, I cut that part. I mean, when she was talking to me.
Oh, she was telling you might want to turn on the fan so we don't hear everything.
You're fine.
It's fine.
I've already made a fool of myself several times during this live. So.
Really? Okay, we don't care. Oh, I don't have her lipstick on in this picture. Okay. Guess I'll just give her slightly different lipstick.
I love that place with the sand wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
That he made like that little companion sketch of Michelle in his little floater and Sylvia's hat.
No, she's wearing his hat.
And his hat like, I can't go.
Yeah.
But then how are you gonna match?
Yeah.
It was just an excellent sketch. I loved it.
I remember because it came up like during the live draw. We were talking about like, where did she get that wonderful hat? And I was saying like, well, actually, I think she stole it from Michelle for the day, and he was really put out because he wanted to wear it.
It completely ruined his ensemble.
Yeah.
Now he has nothing to do with his belt.
Who's the third woman in that wallpaper?
Oh, and the other wallpaper?
Oh, that is you.
Oh yeah, that's Genevieve. It's just very hard to recognize her
without her hat.
Without everything on, yeah.
That was the first time we drew her hair.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first and last one.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that because I was the one who suggested the kinky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because there was the first time Elena was drawing her hair, and she was like, what is her hair like?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
And we were like, I don't know, does the chat has any suggestions?
Does what?
Does the people have any suggestions?
Oh. Sorry, I wasn't trying to make fun of you. I genuinely didn't understand.
Oh, okay. You asked the people, the viewers.
Mm-hmm. This is a little bit too hot pink even for me.
Oh, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Momo is at least as wide as they both are.
Right.
If you could make her even bigger, like that would make sense. But
What is the thing they are laying on? Is that the carpet at the corners?
I imagined it's a round bed, like the
Mhm.
kind you see in like 70s pornos. It probably spins as well and has
Is there a
mirrors all
mirror in
around
the
it.
ceiling?
Yeah. And also, this is
So the
not
question
this
here-
is not in the castle. This is like at Momo's.
Yeah, this is exactly what I
Yeah.
was gonna ask. So this is Mama's room, right?
Yeah. Okay, I think that's all the flat colors done. Should I change Momo's pillow? It doesn't really match with everything else.
I don't know. I like. Can you make it like more of a golden color? Because
That's what I was trying
yeah,
to
it
go
makes.
for.
I think it makes perfect sense for Mama to have a golden pillow.
Mm-hmm. I just don't want it to come off as like tan.
Oh, I like the first color better. I think.
Like this. I don't know if you can see
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm looking
because
at right now.
okay, let me see on your computer. The first one that you had was that one?
The first one was orange. Like, it didn't look very gold to me.
Oh, I like it.
I think this is okay.
I love Michelle's like yellow butter hair.
Yeah. I forgot to give Mama all of her makeup. She doesn't go anywhere without her eyeshadow.
But it just says, Mama, I think, has been shown with a square bed, so she either has just a bed dedicated for sexy times or an entire room dedicated to sexy times, and knowing her, I wouldn't put it past her.
Look, she has more than one room for sexy times, okay? They all have themes as well.
What is the theme of this one?
This is like the 70s porno. But I'm sure there's a dungeon, of course, and there's probably several other themes.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And there's pink lighting on everything because, of course, there is.
Now it definitely looks like a 70s porn video.
Yeah. I was playing footsie with me under the table.
Sorry, I was trying to like put it on top of the table, like.
You know, speaking of, you know how I discovered that Rosie had peed on the floor today?
Oh no.
I stepped in her pee several times, but the first couple times it was warm. So I was like, oh, I guess I put my foot down where Sarah had her foot earlier because it's really warm here. And then, like, you know, I stepped in it again later and I was like, oh, it's really cold here now. My sock feels wet. And I looked and there's like this river of piss under the table.
I like how we go from like sexy times, let's get it on, to dog piss.
For some people, those things are one and the same. Let's not kink shame anybody here. Hey, Ash, guess what? You married this.
Okay, so I think I have finally made my decision about my bullet journal.
Could it be?
A huge development.
The reason,
Go on.
but the reason I feel like I have to make it is because I finally decided to get the octopus one because I like it so much, and when I add in shipping, it's over $30. And I'm not paying that for a starter notebook that I'm not even positive I would.
Wait, so it's like $10 shipping?
Yeah.
Fine.
Where is that shipping from?
It's just-
Australia?
No, it's just shipping from like California.
Good God.
And I'm like, no. And that's not even like super priority shipping.
Damn.
I'm so spoiled by Amazon.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I tried it in Brazil.
Back to the drawing board.
Well, I still think you should get that other one you showed me that was like really sturdy. Because that was Amazon, right? Isn't it?
What?
That other one that you were thinking of instead of the octopus one? The one with the plain cover.
That's only 13.
Yeah, so I think you should get that one. It's Amazon, right? So the shipping's not going to kill you.
Mm-hmm. Shipping won't cost me a thing.
Also, I think that it's gonna be dangerous for you to be so perfectionist about it from the beginning because you are gonna make mistakes with it and stuff, and
Yeah, I know.
you should.
Get the first one from Amazon.
Now it's between these two others that I was looking at that, and I'm pretty sure I've already made my choice because this other one only comes in black with this really ugly orange color.
Why orange? God.
Yeah, why? Why?
Why?
Ew.
That's not the worst one.
It looks like a manila envelope.
Well, maybe I'm seeing it from the side on the, but it doesn't look too bad to me.
I guess it's alright, but still. They do say that this paper is very nice in this one, that's honestly the main thing I care about, is the really nice paper.
I think if it's too nice, it'll stress me out about making everything too perfect.
I'm not worried about everything being too perfect. I know I'm going to make mistakes. I just want to be able to write on the front and back of every page.
You should see me trying to make your birthday present, the Book of Sunshine. I was just like, must not make single mistake. I was so distressed when I realized that I was pressing so hard in some of the pages that you could see the outline in the next one.
Oh.
You know, like when you mark because of the pressure, I was like, no.
You can see like some ghosting on my notebook, but it's really not that big a deal. Like, I don't think it matters.
It
would only matter if it's so bad that you can't read what's on
which a lot of the time it is.
Well, not on mine.
Well, on this one, like a couple other ones I was looking at it is. Anyway, Matt says, I didn't get to hear the explanation for it earlier. What is bullet journalism? Bullet journaling, actually, not bullet journalism. A lot of people, like Elena said, call it dot journaling. It's a type of daily organizing in a journal that uses dot paper. And the dot paper is a lot like graph paper. It's just these little dots that make for a good matrix.
If you just do a Google image search, it'll tell you everything you need to know. Like, looking at a picture, you'll understand it better, I think, than explaining it.
Also, a lot of people see, with the new missing moment, a lot of people are hoping for Yolanda backstory.
You'll get some more of it. I'm glad people are excited about Yolanda. She deserves more love.
She gets her tiny green spotlight this week.
Yeah.
Spank it once you may.
You really want to explain that?
Nope, I'm just going to leave that right there. You want to field that one, Ash?
Nope. I actually wasn't paying super attention when that was all going on last night, so...
Apparently there's some meme about, like, spanking Donkey Kong, and somebody made a Yoda version where it's, like, Yoda just facing away from the camera, and the text says, "Spank it once you may." And now it's, like...
That is a good Yoda impression.
And now it's something I think about when I think about Yolanda.
Jesus. And that was actually Stitch voice. Jesus.
See what this tastes like to you.
Wow, but your face, I don't think it's gonna taste very well. This tastes exactly like H2O.
Like what?
H2O. I know that's the chemical formula for water, but it's also a Brazilian brand of soda.
Oh.
Tastes exactly like it. I don't like it.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna try it because if it has aspartame, I know I won't like it.
Yeah. But Matt, I'm really into the idea of bullet journaling, because I think it will be very soothing for me. I've always been I've been into the idea for a really long time, and what tends to happen is I do a lot of research and I get really excited about it, but then I get so overwhelmed by all the choices for journals and stuff like that that I end up never able to make a decision and forget about it for a little while, put it on the back burner, and then it comes rushing to the fore again at some other future point, which it has done again now. But now I really want to do, something about it, because I don't really mind saying this. This is like, I don't have a very good memory, like because of medical issues and stuff that I have, my memory is not the best, as people here at this table can attest to. And
well, I've never had any brain surgery, and my memory sucks too. So
yeah, but a combination of brain surgery and chemotherapy means that my memory retention is really bad. And sometimes just on this trip, like Laura visited right at 6 months ago.
Heard about.
And it was really fun. We did a lot of cool stuff, but there are things that I completely did not even begin to remember. And even now when she talks about them, I have this vague sense that it happened to me once in a dream. You know, I could not attest that it actually happened to me.
Wait, like what?
Like, apparently while we were, hanging out with Sarah's family, Sarah's mom was at some point, I have hardly any recollection of
you don't
this.
remember that? You were so angry at her about it.
I know! That's what Laura said. And I remember being angry about something, but I can't really remember what. And I guess, yay, that's great, don't hold a grudge. Well, it's kind of different when your brain kind of just scrubs that from existence.
You were mad because she was getting nitpicky at Sarah about, holding hands with Laura or something.
Yeah, so making me really pissed, I'm sure, but I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of stuff. Certain things with you too, Elena. You'll tell me a thing that happened, and I'll feel like, well, that sounds really important. Why the hell isn't it in my brain?
Welcome to my life.
But it's really bad for me, and it probably will get a lot worse before it gets better. And the idea of keeping a record of things, and it's also I feel like it would be really nice to have a record of really nice things to look at on days when things aren't as nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to get started on it as soon as I can, so I can have that. And the idea too of having a project where there's no deadline, this isn't something I'm doing for work, this isn't something I'm doing for Sister Claire, where by a certain point I have to have it done so Laura can edit it, so Laura can edit it, so Elena can draw it. It's not that. This is just for me.
Point there. You told me to remind you of it, so I'm doing it now. No, it's a good thing. You used a really good imagery earlier tomorrow when we were talking about the missing moments.
Earlier tomorrow?
Yeah.
Earlier yesterday?
Yes, earlier today, actually. Today.
I was
this very day.
I used it in the future. Great! Good job, me!
Can't believe you didn't remember that, Ash.
Yeah,
where's your future vision?
Let me just... Oh, yeah, of course I'm not finding it. I'm looking for it in the wrong place. I'm smart. I'll find it. You'll use like a really cool phrase, and you wanted me to remind you of it in the future. So I will do that.
Okay.
Oh, here you said, part of an editor's job, dragging her writer out of the cave with a rake.
Oh, yes. Because Laura this morning was reminding me that I had to write the missing moments, and I wrote, like, a description, like, hisses like a goblin and retreats into cave. And I was like, part of an editor's job, dragging the writer back out of the cave with a long-handled rake.
Yeah.
And then Laura made it even better by going, "What's a rake?" So I found the first one on Google Images and sent it to her. This picture of a long-handled rake.
Yeah, here it is. You were working on the memo, right? You. We drove into a cave. He's like a goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the wonder.
Oh, Brother Nerd says, well, Ash, have you thought to use Google Docs for the moment? I use Google Docs every day for work-related stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, there is nothing I want to do less.
The whole appeal of doing the bullet journal is that it's something that you can customize and make it pretty and take it with you everywhere, and there's something to be said about having the physical thing.
Yeah, like I
is.
don't want to do a digital thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do digital things all the time. I can't hold it, I can't flip the pages, I can't glue stuff into it or use washi tape on it.
You can caress it and laugh maniacally because it's so pretty.
Yeah, like I can't use a bunch of rainbow pins and stuff on it. Google Docs has, plenty of merits, but it's not what I want.
Letting people talk, it's not one of them.
Oh, true, yeah. Google Docs is also on my shit list right now because it has thrown a huge monkey wrench into how I like to do live writes.
Yes. Another reminder, everyone, if you would like to come to live writes, and coming to the, I should say the word for me.
Chat?
Yes, if you would like to come into that, just send your email to the Sister Claire Tumblr or the Sister Claire email. I'll add it to the doc so you can talk in the
Chat.
at your will. You can still just come and look at it, that's fine. But if you want to talk with the peeps, just send me your email, I'll add you.
Mm-hmm.
This ends our commercial break. Back to business.
Yeah.
I just think it's really funny the very different approach that Ash and I have to bullet journaling. Because, like, apparently Ash has been, like, obsessing over bullet journaling for literal months, and I only very recently learned about it, and I learned about it when we went to Barnes & Noble, and somebody had been apparently looking at books about it and left them on the table that we arrived at, and I was like, oh, what's this? And I started flipping through the books. I got really obsessed, and I read both of the books instead of doing the Sister Claire work I was supposed to be doing. As soon as I was done reading the books, I immediately got up, walked over to where the bullet journals are at Barnes & Noble, and bought one.
Yeah. Like, it must be so nice and free to be able to do something like that. This also, like, a lot of people make fun of me for how I obsessively research things, and, like, second, third, fourth, fifth guess myself. Like, it is something that Ryan finds so funny, because, like, I will go to a store several times just to look at a thing before I...
Yeah, and I think this part was supposed to be the pillow, not her hair.
I think I'm fixing what you were just pointing out right now. Just give it a few seconds and tell me if I fix it.
Yeah. That is exactly what you're doing.
But, like, I'll go to a store several times before I actually buy a thing. And Ryan thinks it's so funny. And I can laugh at myself, but the reason I feel compelled to do this is because if I ever wanted to use my money to buy something, or if I would ever ask my parents to buy something when I was a kid, there was never just a, they'd buy it for me and it was mine. There was a, well, are you sure you want it? Are you sure it's the best one? Why don't you read some about it first? Especially as the internet became more and more of a thing, my parents were always like, go read some more about it before you buy it. And it made me think, that if I didn't do a bunch of research about a thing before I bought it, like, and it was not exactly what I wanted in every way, it was my fault for not, figuring it out before I even purchased the damn thing. And it made it seem like there are definitely purchases for which you should do research before you buy the thing, of course. Like, you don't just walk onto a lot and buy a car without researching a bunch of stuff first. Sometimes you don't even, buy a vacuum cleaner or something. But sometimes it should be okay to just go into a store and buy, a certain kind of thing without having to obsessively research it first. Unfortunately, I am not the person that can do that. Unless it's a party pack of sporks for some sort of shindig.
Is that why you're so patient with me when it takes me forever to choose a thing out of a menu?
Yes.
It takes me forever to choose a thing out of a menu. That's the exact same thought process I have. It's but what if I ask for this and I don't actually like it?
Yeah.
I've wasted my only chance to ever eat again in my whole life.
Well, I think you're a lot less likely to do that at a place like McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
Where the food is, $2.
Mm.
But when you're at a really nice restaurant...
Like the Grazie.
Yes. When you're at a really nice restaurant and you're okay, I'm probably not going to eat here again because I'm only in this city, very briefly. This place is expensive. I want to make sure I pick correctly. Because then, if you don't like the thing, often, you can send it back. But what if you don't want to go through that whole tango? So, there's a lot
Also, I feel really guilty wasting food. I don't know about you guys, but I have less guilt about, buying a thing that I end up not using that I could, donate or repurpose or whatever, but I hate wasting food. And I would rather force myself to eat something that is disgusting or not what I wanted than think about it being thrown away because I made a bad decision.
I remember a story about that sauce that we ate at the Thai restaurant. They wanted to try to make it herself, and it didn't work.
Oh, you're talking about the tom kha soup.
Yeah. I tried to make tom kha, which is a really delicious coconut and lime soup. And I kept trying to fix it by adding more lime juice, more fish sauce, more lime juice, more fish sauce, and I eventually created vomit. And it was really disgusting, but I had gone through so much trouble to buy all the ingredients, and I forced myself to eat it, and I almost did vomit, and then I couldn't eat tom kha again for literal months, even though it was one of my favorite things to order.
I did that once with unripe avocado. It's I opened it.
It's like eating grass.
Yeah, I opened it. I put sugar in it. It's in my plate. I gotta finish it. I did also the same with the tuna that tasted funny. And with the, when cheese or tomato sauce sits for too long and it ends up getting sour. I did that once with that. I regretted it bitterly.
Yeah, I have more than once eaten food that was questionable, whether it was still okay to eat or not, because I felt guilty about not having eaten it earlier. And so at least one time I've given myself food poisoning for eating things that were definitely not okay to eat anymore because I felt too guilty to throw them away.
My mom is the exact opposite. If she has even the slightest little suspicion that it's not good anymore, she'll throw it away. And it makes me no, it was still good. Give it to me, I'll eat it.
I think a part of my weirdness about food like that is because of my dad. And my dad grew up really poor in a huge family, so he's really he's weirdly possessive about food, and he would ask me things like, do you really deserve another piece of bread? I'm not even making that up. This is something he really said to me. When I would ask for another piece of bread, he'd be like, I don't know if you deserve another piece of bread.
That's yikes.
Yeah. So that's part of why I'm really possessive of food, but also because I grew up really athletic and on lots of swim teams, and I was always hungry, just hungry constantly. And I hated throwing away food because it's I could have eaten that. Hey, David, are we being too loud?
No.
Okay. Good night, David. Say good night to the chat. We're still
yes.
live drawing.
Good night, everyone.
But this is coming out beautiful.
Thank you.
Buona notte, David.
It's beautiful. I love it. Love them. I love their love. I love this drawing.
I'm glad. You okay, dear?
Oh,
Sound like you're crying.
No, I'm not crying.
Can I borrow your park card for a little while?
Yes. Yes, you
It's okay. It's alright here. Thank you, Alan.
may.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Someone asked earlier what would happen if Oscar caught her parents at this.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask, when did she caught on to the fact that they were in a relationship?
Yeah,
Like-
or did she ever?
Did they have to like sit her down? Oscar, we still love you.
Yeah, Brother Nerd was talking about Elena just now and the deserve bread thing, and you said deserve food. Are you obese? No, then yes, you do. And Sephi said being obese doesn't make you not deserve food, though. That's right. Let's not get into that really a lot, but
No, my dad didn't ask me if I deserve food because he thought he was trying to control my weight. He asked me if I deserve food because I don't even know, like, he would think it was okay for my brother to eat more food because he'd be like, oh, David's a growing boy, but, like, you don't really need any more food. And, like, I don't know, you haven't done anything useful today, so do you really deserve to get any more bread? Like, what have you done to... I don't even know. I can't really begin to explain my dad's mentality,
Yeah.
but basically he treated bread like gold for no reason. He acted like we were still living in some kind of, like, post-war recession where we only had one loaf of bread for 2 weeks, and he would treat it like his precious. And my mom and everybody would make fun of him, like, look, we live above a grocery store. It costs like the equivalent of $2 to get a giant piece of bread. Why are you like this?
he doesn't seem to be like that anymore, though.
Probably because we shamed him every single time.
Yeah.
Also, I think he would be embarrassed to do it in front of you, like, to know that he treats me like that, but I don't know. I don't forget it.
Speaking of bread, though, the bread at Sarah's dinner was really good. I know this is a
You
radio
know what?
association, but I was
I
thinking
think
about
I
it.
forgot to get some.
We didn't get bread.
After he even set it on fire for us and made a new one.
He was trying so hard.
He was. It was really good.
Are my comments not showing up in the chat?
Not here, they're not. Try refreshing the page. Happens to me sometimes. I love how Michelle has eyelashes.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cute on his face. Hey, Rosie. You are watching me. Sometimes she will come up on the couch and like turn towards the other direction and turn her butt towards me, and then her tail just goes like this on my computer. Pow, pow, pow,
I know. Her tail is a weapon of mass destruction. My favorite is when she's trying to be tough with her rope and she'll go and swing it around and smack herself in the head with it and then go like, what?
What was that?
Yeah. Or like when she farts and she gets scared. I've seen her like fart and get scared and look around and then just get up and walk away. Like, oh, I'm just gonna leave.
And like sometimes when I'm here in the morning and I'm working on my translations and stuff, Rosie will come up to me and she puts her head on my lap like, pet me. And then I start petting her, and if I stop, she comes again, puts her head on top of my arm, like, I'm not going to pet me again. I know I'm probably indulging her in bad behavior, but it's so cute.
It's okay to do that. The thing that concerns me about her doing the putting her head on you thing is that sometimes she does it when she wants pets, and apparently now she's started to do that when she wants to go outside to pee, and there's no way to know the difference.
Really?
And she needs to ring the bell to let us know. Like, she used to be really good about that, but maybe because we don't make her ring the bell anymore when we go outside, she's just stopped doing it. But we need to retrain her to keep using the bell.
I'll remember that when I take her out. She rang the bell this time.
Okay, good. It's especially important for when we have other people dog sit her, or like when we take her to other people's houses, because we take the bell with us, and she needs to ring the bell so they know to take her out.
Matt asks if this is for Valentine's Day, and yes, it's Valentine's Day themed.
Yeah.
We are celebrating love. And Sephi says, neat!
About the theme?
Yeah, about the theme. I think the first time ever that Ash introduced this tree as a thing. It was in a live ride. It was the one in which Gabby comes looking for Clementine in Mama's home. That was even before we knew they were a thing. And she comes into Mama's room, and Sylvia's sleeping there, and I, in all my innocence, just go, "That's so nice. She's taking a nap."
Oh no.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, but
And you came into the Google Docs thing, like, "Oh dear heart."
Like, oh no.
I was like, and I immediately went like, "Oh, I misinterpreted the situation."
she's just taking a nap because she's tired from eating all that sausage. Her jaw's tired.
I'll never outlive that story, apparently. No. That is going to mark me for the rest of my days on this earth.
We're going to see Black Panther tomorrow night,
right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm also going to see it on Friday, and if you guys want to see it twice, you're welcome to see it again.
I think Laura and I are going to try to do that snow tubing thing. And we have to drive up there.
How far a drive is that?
It's like 3.5 hours.
Yes, I'll make a
Wait, so like, are you going to take the day off, or?
No, we leave.
Yeah, our deal was like to leave on Friday, be there on Saturday, come back on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
They look very cozy.
They do. Don't forget Michelle Sparkles.
Michelle Sparkles shoe. I'd forgotten that.
That's where Oscar gets it from.
Where did Michelle get it from? Because I can't imagine his mother sparkling.
Oh, his mother probably did.
Evilly? Oh, she had the evil sparkles.
Evil sparkles.
Michelle purified them.
Her sparkles were just in her eyes when she had evil ideas of...
Michelle purified the sparkles in the family. Oh, I'm sorry, Winkle. I thought you were Ang. And Black when I pet his head. You don't. She just wants to be spanked. God. Kinkly girl.
The kinkly girl.
She's happy right now, I think.
Anytime she's getting spanked, she's a happy girl.
She's a happy girl.
I created this monster. I got my own daughter into BDSM. And I'll never live it down.
This is one of those faces that looks so bad out of context.
I got my own daughter into BDSM, and she insists all of our guests indulge in Her queer desires.
Oh, now you're gonna let me pet your head. Yeah, now you like me, do you? Yes, you're so fluffy. Oh, apparently Seffi also has a monster of her own.
An insatiable, spank-obsessed cat.
Well, she says her cat is like that, so take from that what you will.
Let's see.
Now, Anne really likes me. He always climbs right up to my lap and starts pooing like a little machine.
Yeah, and he's a good kitty.
He's a good boy.
He's a good, stinky, poop on the floor boy.
He did it again today.
No!
David caught it this time. Rosie didn't get it.
That means that he's done it like 4 times this week. That's so much. And I know it's not because the litter box is dirty. He just, I don't know, maybe he's too lazy to go all the way in there to poop. But it's not okay. I don't know how to train him out of that.
I know I've said this before, but I also think it's really cool how we know where to put the shadows.
It's just something that comes through a lot of, I guess, a lot of looking at actual pictures and taking note of how the light hits things from different angles. This is a pretty easy one because it's just like straight down. Like I imagine there's a light right above them, so I'm not having to do a lot of complicated stuff.
What do you think was the most difficult thing to learn, drawing-wise?
Learning to visualize things in 3D.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
I think once you can start to grasp that, a lot of things start to fall into place, but I think until then, a lot of things like how to color and do shading and how to draw things in perspective and all, it can be like almost impossible to understand if you don't know how to think of it. Or also how to break things down into simpler shapes. Because that's another thing that once you can get that to click, like so many possibilities open up for you.
Imagine, especially in character design.
I feel like coloring used to be really hard for me up until I took a coloring class where the teacher gave us this really basic instruction that just like changed the way I saw color.
Total game changer.
Yeah, and it was basically just cold lights have warm shadow, warm lights have cold shadow. And if you look at pictures of actual lighting situations like in nature and everything, it's true. Like when the light is really warm, like orange, the shadows are going to be like purpley or blue. And just by doing that, you can really hyper exaggerate it like I do in a lot of my artwork. And it still manages to look somewhat realistic, even though everything is like all these crazy colors.
And the colors is declaring something that a lot of people love.
I'm really glad because I feel like it was something I learned over the course of making the comic. Like it definitely wasn't something I felt really strong doing initially.
One thing that I really like about the art progression, Sister Claire, I don't know how to explain really, but like one of in the first book, the scene that they are leaving the Abbey, where it's like Catherine, the twins, and Claire, and there's the graveyard around them, and the sky, and such.
That has some wild colors on it.
Right.
I was very liberal with those colors.
It's like, I don't know exactly how to explain, but the background and the way you draw the stars, it feels kind of cluttered. And then the latest background, especially the forest, all the sequence with the mega shard, everything now, it still looks cartoony, but it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm sure it was very current right now.
I think I originally wanted Claire to look a lot more kind of iconic, more than realistic. I wanted it to be inspired by things like Junko Mizuno's artwork, which is very stylized, like super, super stylized. Or like old cartoons or things like the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab where things are very unrealistically proportioned. And as I continued the comic, I found that I actually preferred to make it slightly more realistic. And I think that I finally got like a balance that worked better for it without making it all too cluttered and stuff. Are you falling asleep on us, dear? I'm almost done here.
Okay, that's because I made her. It's because she was trying to help me do headstands in the pool.
Oh. Did that make you sleepy, dear?
Made her really tired.
Oh, baby.
I'm okay.
I'm sorry. I'm close to done here.
Okay. It was really cold in the pool. It wasn't really cold, except when we got out.
Yeah.
Then it was really cold.
It was quite warm today, I thought.
Really? I don't know if I trust that.
No, it really was, Eleanor.
It's just every time we've been there, I've gotten cold. And even times when you haven't been and you've been like, Eleanor, you're too sensitive. But like, I always feel cold in that pool.
Maybe you're feeling the spirit of a dead person who's haunting you.
Maybe.
Maybe you look like their dead lover.
Maybe I do.
But I also had a lot of fun ice skating for the first time that day, even though I fell on my butt 3 times. How's everyone doing there? Is the stream still going okay? Anyone has any questions? It's so jarring when like you take away the lighting and the shading layer and it's back to the flat colors.
Yeah.
Because when you first put on the flat colors, they look perfectly fantastic. And now it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah, it does. You see the progress suddenly gone.
What I really like is when you just show like this layer 6, when it's just like the shadows. It looks really cool and it's realistic.
You okay, dude?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Uh-huh.
Why are you making that go away motion at your computer?
What is that on the boobs?
It's like sparkle. Like I decided to make her dress a little bit.
Sparkly?
Yeah.
Just to match her lovers?
I feel like Mama would have a kind of sparkly.
Matt says, if you're not too tired, I was wondering if you could explain the mechanics of Limbo in more detail. Like, every time we've seen it so far, something new has happened. I am very tired right now. But do you have, like, a specific question? Like, if a question framed in the way of, like, if thing, then what would happen? I can try to answer that.
I have spent a lot of time asking Ash questions about Limbo, I think.
Do ask her questions. It'll keep her awake for the couple more minutes I need to finish this.
Oh, there's another question here. I'm curious, has the crackdown on magic users lately harmed people's ability to keep their communities safe and operating safely?
That is a very good question. Like, there's only a crackdown on, like, witches in particular, or children that are presenting with dangerous, hard-to-control magic.
And of course, the definition of dangerous, hard-to-control magic is something that can change a lot and depend on people's humor that day.
Yeah. But in general, if people are licensed to practice magic, Abraham leaves them alone. Like, Abraham and the Helsings want people to be licensed. And there still are certain kinds of witches that they would leave alone. Like, people who were really strong in terms of, like, being magics they would consider harmless, like healing magics, you know, they'd leave people like that alone. Even though when you think about it,
would they? Because people who could heal can probably break just as easily.
It really, like I said, it really does depend on the magic. And I think it would be, I think if it was Abraham meeting that person, she would be, like, less keen to leave them alone. If it was any other Helsing, they'd probably think, oh, healing magic, that's not very damaging, without also thinking of the long-term effects of someone like that on a community. Like, someone who can heal really well and stuff could easily amass a following, and that's also bad. And
not only that, if their magic is strong, they draw shards, like, regardless of what good the magic does.
Yeah. There are people, like, once upon a time, Abraham was willing to largely be hands-off with super powerful witches as long as they were mobile. As long as they didn't try to stay in one place for too long, she was kind of the live and let live sort of enforcer. That's how she and Zora were able to, like, be friends. Friends, in quotations.
Gal pals.
Yeah. Zora was always on the move, and I feel like if Zora had ever changed her mind and been like, no, I'm going to stay in this particular place, and I know it's dangerous, but, and had not agreed to be warded, then Abraham would have been like, well, it's time for a showdown. That would have been ugly.
Who would have won in a showdown between those two? I mean, they would have been ugly because I'm sure none of them would want to be fighting. But if they were pinned against each other,
it would really depend. It would really depend. I don't think Abraham would win that one, but that's only because she really loved Zora.
Love makes you weak.
Abraham does feel that way, like that love makes a person weak. She doesn't necessarily think it's a bad thing. She just thinks it's a fact.
And Seth wants to know, does Mama have a sequined nightgown?
Yeah, something like that.
What does that mean?
Sequins are those, like, little
metal.
Super flat beads. They're not metal, they're like plastic, and they're sewn tightly together, and they flash in the light.
Yeah, I know what they are. What's the name for that in Portuguese? Do you have a name for that?
I like how you're tapping the table like one of us was going to give you the word. And I'm over here, and I'm like, I can say woman.
Can you?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
Yes.
Don't ask me to speak Portuguese, especially not in front of the chat bar.
You can say de nada. You know that one.
Of course I can say yes. But you're right. What do you
Stop.
Hey, Ash, I think it's only fair. Laura's been speaking English for like hours to all these people.
I know. I know.
And I have made a fool of myself several times already.
Your turn, Ash.
No.
Yes.
I make a fool of myself in my native tongue. I'm good.
I'm still trying to remember the name of the thing in Portuguese because there's a name for it and I know what it is because like when I was in high school I danced for a play and we had one of those one quote that was this thingy and it itched so badly and it was like the top part that came up over your boobs and you tie it behind your neck. The whole thing was full of this. And my boobs, as you know, need a lot of support. So I was just red all over by the time this was over.
No.
It was so itchy.
Yeah.
Lantejoulas. Yes.
I don't actually think that she's wearing something made of sequins because that would be so uncomfortable to cuddle against. But
Oh god, it would.
it's just some kind of like sparkly, magical fabric.
Oh, I'm sure there are soft fabrics that sparkle.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, lantejoulas, that's the name of the thing in Portuguese.
Lantejoulas.
You did it!
It sounds like lentils.
Yay!
I wonder if there's any connection.
No, that's lentilhas.
Lentillas.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like chilies.
Ash is proud. You should be proud.
Oh.
I am proud.
Good job, Ash.
Bom trabalho.
Bon travail.
Yeah, how was that? That's French, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever found myself in
Yeah. I wasn't born in a jungle.
We're born in Brazil. No.
Oh my
She
god.
wasn't raised in a barn.
Yeah, the monkeys lived like far away from us, okay?
Macaco.
Yes, exactly. You also know how to say monkey.
I do.
That's because of the Lion King.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite parts in the Brazilian dub. Quem é o macaco?
Who's a macaco?
Yeah,
What's a macaco?
a monkey. That's the part where Timon is asking Nala who's the monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Quem é o macaco? The monkey is uncle? I love that part in Brazilian Portuguese, and my dad loves quoting the Mr. Pig line.
He's a big pig. Oh, no. You could be a big pig, too. Oh, dear.
But you will have to call me Mr. Pig.
They call me Mr. Pig.
Sometimes I don't know if like the dubs are actually excellent or if I think they are because that's the first version that I heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's like that with some Italian stuff for me.
Like Sister Act.
I genuinely think the Italian dub of Sister Act is better, and
Mhm.
mainly that's just because, for me, it's really amusing to hear Whoopi Goldberg in Italian because the actress who dubbed her did a really excellent job of capturing all of her weird sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because Whoopi Goldberg, she does noises when she acts, and like she'll do it like, and like the actors did a really good job of translating that.
Yeah, that can be easy.
When I was a kid, I thought that Whoopi Goldberg spoke Italian, and that really impressed me.
Yeah, that's a question. When you do that thing that you just did,
The
in which
gradient.
there's like a light source,
Uh-huh.
and you do the line to draw like where it's going from, where it's supposed to go, can you do that if it's supposed to like be coming straight down?
I mean, I could make like a circle of light above them. It would look like it was coming out of Maman's stomach, like this. Oh, that's actually really kind of cool.
Is she pregnant with a savior?
I just did the opposite. Hang on.
Oh, that's pretty.
That was the opposite of what I was trying to do. You should.
You're so pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty. See, that's what it looks like. It's weird.
Hold on, now it's still getting to here. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It just looks like Michelle is doing some weird sort of
Some
magic on
yeah.
her. A magical procedure, and makes it all look so creepy. But the other one, which was the opposite, was really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that.
Oh shit! I messed it up.
That was a great combination.
Oh,
I like that. Shit, I messed up.
Those of y'all who have stuck around till 2 a.m. on a weeknight, we really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Oh my god, if it were me back in Brazil, it would be like 4 a.m. right now. I'm sorry. So anyway, this is a very beautiful picture.
Thank you.
Oh my god, the last one just made the sparkles in the one's boobs really stand out.
It's okay.
Matt says that he couldn't sleep knowing a live draw was going on.
Aww.
His soul would not let him rest.
I don't like how this is turning out.
Really? Why?
I don't know, it's just not coming out how I want it.
Well, yeah, we can always understand that feeling. We've been there.
Is tomorrow is
Tuesday, the 20th.
I could get free 2-day shipping. Or I could pay.
Are you actually buying a journal?
Mm-hmm.
My.
Yes, I am.
Which one?
The one you wanted me to buy.
See, I'm telling you, I'm always right. You should just always listen to me.
It's not the squid one that I really liked because that one was going to be very expensive. But I'm getting that, and I'm getting stencils that you and I can share, Elena, that are really cool.
Oh.
Well, you can draw, so you don't need stencils.
No, but like sometimes when I'm doing my update at 3 a.m., which is what I'm going to have to do tonight, because I haven't updated my journal for tomorrow, it's nice to have something to just...
But I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to rush it.
I think I'm done. I think I'm just overworking this at this point.
I think it looks beautiful. Really looks like.
Let me try one very last thing. And then if I don't like it, I'm just going to say fuck it.
Did you give sparkles to Misha?
Please. The stitch voice. Please.
Some
Did you tell about the time that I was trying to copy paste Oscar's sparkles?
No.
So there was one time that you drew the missing image, and I think after you drew it, we had to rearrange the text a little bit, so there was empty space above Oscar's head, just like nothing there, and it was really bugging us. So Ash was like, wow, can we just like add some more sparkles at the top? And I was like, well, yeah, how hard can it be to copy paste some sparkles? I mean, that's gonna take me 5 minutes. 3 hours later. Trying to copy paste the damn sparkles on Photoshop. I still don't know how I did it. I got there, but I don't know how.
She did a really good job.
I'm proud of you, Laura.
I copy pasted 6 whole sparkles.
Whoa.
Unlike that time that I tried to do the white out thingy for the test in the page, that was a disaster.
Oh, I had forgot to do their blushy blushes, so let me do that as well. And then I am done.
You can do it, Elena. We believe you. Did I do it right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Akira makina kereba.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Não desista.
Yatta ne?
Não desista, Elena. Even my voice sounds different when I speak in Portuguese.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Isn't that weird?
My Japanese friend told me to stop doing a weird voice when I would speak Japanese to her. And I wasn't trying to, but like, I think it's only normal that when you speak another language, you speak it in the voice that you're used to hearing it.
Yeah.
And so I heard most of my Japanese from anime, so when I speak Japanese, without thinking about it, my voice, it goes up a couple octaves, like this, to make it sound more natural. And she'd be like, why are you doing that voice? Just talk normally. And I'd be like, I can't. Hajime mashite.
Hajime mashite.
Hajime mashite.
No, it just sounded like one of the protagonists of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Manzu wa shite desu. Dozo yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Shine!
Eu vou começar a falar em português só pra não me sentir excluída.
When you sing in Portuguese, it's a lot different than when you sing in English.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What's different?
You're a lot more confident.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
With the words. You know, I feel like that's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that Laura knows the words to so many songs in English that I don't. And it makes me feel like especially bad. I know that I'm already really bad at knowing the words to songs. And Ash always loves to give me these like murderous looks when I mess one up.
Do you think I know that many lyrics? I don't think I do.
No, you do. Like when we're singing along, you know all the words to some song I've only heard like 3 times and I know maybe 2 words and I'm trying to like sing along and I'll be making up the words and you like get them all right and I'm like,
Stop it. Oh, to be fair, I listen to music constantly all the time because I need to listen to music when I'm writing. I listen to music when I'm working.
But how can you do your work when you're listening to lyrics?
Wow.
Like when you're writing. Don't you then just write what you're listening to?
I mean, you would expect it, right? But no, it doesn't distract me. Like sometimes, if it's something that I really don't want to do, like read an